Hey folks, David from the Starship Mission Update team. After getting fired up with Starship's Raptor flame, today we're switching gears to a mission just as thrilling, Axiom Mission 4, or AX-4. This private flight is sending 4 astronauts from 3 nations to the ISS, and SpaceX is once again showing they're the space wizards of our time. But what makes this mission special, and why does it matter? I'm betting AX-4 isn't just a trip. It's a ticket to an interplanetary future. Let's dive in. First, let's break down what AX-4 is. Axiom Mission 4 is the 4th private mission by Axiom Space, a U.S. company pushing commercial space travel. Partnered with SpaceX and NASA, it's set to launch on June 19, 2025, from LC-39A at Kennedy Space Center, Florida. Unlike traditional NASA missions with all pro astronauts, AX-4 is a leap toward opening space to new nations and individuals. 4 astronauts will live and work on the ISS for 14 days, conducting over 60 science experiments and outreach activities. This isn't just a space joyride, it's a flying lab, folks. Meet the crew, a stellar multinational team. Mission commander is Peggy Whitson, a NASA legend and space superstar. With 675 days in space across 4 missions, Peggy holds the U.S. women's record for time off Earth. She's so seasoned, I bet she could pilot Crew Dragon while sipping coffee. The pilot is Shubhanshu Shukla, India's first astronaut to visit the ISS, representing ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. This is a historic milestone for India, a rising space powerhouse. The 2 mission specialists are Slavoj Uznansky-Wisniewski from Poland and Tibor Kapu from Hungary. These are the first ISS visits for both nations, giving Europe a chance to shine in space. Slavoj, an ESA engineer, brings expertise in physics and satellite tech, while Tibor, a businessman trained by Axiom, embodies Hungary's pioneering spirit. 4 people, 3 nations, 1 mission. Sounds like a Hollywood blockbuster, right? So, what's AX-4 doing on the ISS? Over 14 days, the crew will tackle over 60 science experiments, from studying stem cells in microgravity to testing advanced materials for future spacecraft. India's contributing an atmospheric sensor experiment, while Poland and Hungary focus on biomedical tech and satellite communications. They'll also run educational outreach, like live broadcasts with students on Earth, inspiring the next generation. I don't know about you, but I wish I'd chatted with astronauts from the ISS as a kid. Way cooler than my old physics class. What's SpaceX's role in AX-4? They're supplying the hardware. A Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket, proven through over 300 launches. And the Crew Dragon C213, a brand new spacecraft making its debut flight. Crew Dragon is SpaceX's pride, designed for up to 7 people. But for AX-4, it's carrying 4 astronauts to leave room for science gear. The spacecraft will autonomously dock with the ISS about 24 hours after launch, and I bet it's as smooth as a Tesla cruising in space. But why does AX-4 matter? It's more than a private mission. It's a proof of concept for the commercial space industry. Axiom Space aims to build the first private space station by decade's end, and AX-4 is a stepping stone to test tech and operations. For SpaceX, AX-4 is a chance to solidify their lead in space transport while gaining know-how for bigger missions with Starship, the beast we covered in our Raptor video. Here's a bold prediction. AX-4 will pave the way for SpaceX to haul dozens of astronauts at once to Axiom's station or even the Moon in the near future. Before wrapping this part, let's zoom out. AX-4 isn't just 4 folks visiting the ISS. It's a symbol of global teamwork and humanity's push beyond Earth. From Peggy Whitson's veteran expertise to Shubhanshu Shukla planting India's flag in space, this crew shows space is for everyone. With SpaceX at the helm, I'm convinced we're living in the golden age of space exploration. We just met the AX-4 crew ready to zip to the ISS for science and inspiration. Now, let's get to the juicy part. SpaceX, the masterminds behind this mission. They're not just supplying rockets and spacecraft, they're tackling technical hiccups that'd make anyone sweat bullets. From liquid oxygen leaks to ISS drama, Ax-4 is a big test for SpaceX. I'm betting they fixed everything faster than you'd reboot your Wi-Fi router. Let's dissect SpaceX's role and the challenges they're conquering. First, let's talk hardware SpaceX is bringing to this cosmic party. Ax-4 will launch on a Falcon 9 Block 5, a trusty workhorse with over 300 successful launches, like a space pickup truck that never breaks down. The first stage, previously flown for Inspiration 4, will attempt a landing on an ocean barge after launch, keeping SpaceX's reuse mission alive. Atop the rocket is Crew Dragon C213, a shiny new spacecraft making its debut flight. Unlike Starship, which could fit a soccer team, Crew Dragon is built for up to 7, but for Ax-4, it's carrying 4 astronauts to leave room for science gear. Crew Dragon C213 is SpaceX's tech masterpiece. It boasts autonomous docking with the ISS, sleek touchscreen displays straight out of sci-fi, and a domed window for astronauts to gawk at Earth. Trust me, that view beats any Instagram post. The spacecraft has an emergency escape system, able to jettison from the Falcon 9 in a split second if things go south. SpaceX has tested this system dozens of times, ensuring the crew's safety from launch pad to orbit. But for Ax-4 to succeed, everything needs to be as precise as a cosmic ballet, and that's where the challenges kick in. The first challenge was a liquid oxygen leak in the Falcon 9, spotted after a pre-launch static fire test. Liquid oxygen, kept at -183 degrees Celsius, is the main fuel for Falcon 9's Merlin engines. This leak was no joke. It could cause pressure loss, disrupt the launch, or worse, spark a fire. The issue forced SpaceX to delay the launch from June 11th to June 19th, 2025, setting X abuzz. Some fans were nervous, but I'm like, if anyone can fix a leak lightning fast, it's SpaceX. To fix it, SpaceX ran a wet dress rehearsal on June 12th, pumping liquid oxygen and kerosene into the Falcon 9 to stress test the system. They traced the leak to an alloy pipe in the second stage and swapped it for a tougher version that handles extreme cold. Follow-up tests showed no leaks, and NASA green-lit the new launch date. This showcases SpaceX's crisis-solving chops. They didn't just patch the problem. They did it faster than you'd find your lost keys. But the Falcon 9 leak wasn't the only hurdle. A bigger issue came from the ISS itself. The Russian Zvezda module has a pressure leak, detected since 2020, but worsening in early 2025. This tiny leak could impact Ax-4's crew safety, especially during their 14-day stay. NASA and Roscosmos scrambled, using robots and sensors to pinpoint the leak, applying temporary patches. Still, the issue prompted NASA to reassess the ISS's safety for Ax-4. On X, some joked the ISS is wheezing, but I trust NASA to nail this, because space isn't a place for slip-ups. So, what do these challenges mean for SpaceX? Ax-4 tests their ability to handle complex issues, from technical leaks to international coordination. A successful mission will cement SpaceX's lead in commercial space, especially as they develop Starship, the beast that could haul dozens, as we discussed in our Raptor video. Here's a bold prediction. If Ax-4 goes off without a hitch, SpaceX will snag a bigger role in NASA's Artemis program, maybe using Crew Dragon or Starship to ferry astronauts to lunar orbit. To boost engagement, I want your thoughts. Can SpaceX launch Ax-4 on time and safely, or will leaks cause another delay? And if you were an astronaut, would you ride Crew Dragon or hold out for...
We just saw how SpaceX tackled leaks and pressure to get Ax-4 to the ISS. But folks, this isn't just a flight. It's a springboard for SpaceX's wilder dreams. From the nimble Crew Dragon to the mighty Starship, ready to haul a whole squad to the Moon and Mars. Ax-4 is a puzzle piece in the cosmic picture, but not everyone thinks it's out of this world awesome. I'm betting this future will make you want to book a Mars ticket or at least a space coffee. Let's look beyond. Ax-4 is a stepping stone for SpaceX's big goal, making Starship the ultimate interplanetary transport. Crew Dragon, as cool as it is, maxes out at 7 people, but Starship can carry up to 100 or 150 tons of cargo. The Raptor engine tests we covered earlier are key to getting Starship off the ground, with a target of 25 launches in 2025. Ax-4 lets SpaceX refine crew operations, from training to ISS docking, prepping for the day Starship hauls dozens to Axiom Station or the Moon. I'm picturing a future where you book a Starship ride like an Uber. One trip to Mars, make it quick. SpaceX and Axiom have huge plans, building the first private space station by 2030, replacing the ISS when it retires late this decade. Ax-4 is Axiom's chance to test tech and global teamwork with astronauts from India, Poland, and Hungary. A successful mission will convince NASA that SpaceX can handle bigger roles in Artemis, like using Starship as a lunar lander. Here's my bold prediction. In 3 years, Starship will ferry gear to lunar orbit for Artemis 3, and we'll see astronauts snapping selfies by a SpaceX flag on the Moon. But not everyone's starry-eyed. On X, the debate's heating up. Some call Ax-4 the dawn of commercial spaceflight, but others worry about costs and risks. A post from @SpaceCritic 2025 argued private missions like Ax-4 prioritize profit over science. Some even joke SpaceX is turning space into a billionaire resort. I think Ax-4 opens doors for more nations, but I want your take. Are private missions the future of space, or should we stick to public projects like Artemis? Drop a comment and tell me where you stand. And that's our trip through Ax-4, from a multinational crew to Starship dreams. This mission isn't just a flight, it's a spark lighting the way to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. What do you think? Will Ax-4 be a smash hit or hit drama? Should SpaceX fast-track Starship or stick with Crew Dragon? Drop a comment, and I'm suggesting a poll. Ax-4, total triumph or surprise snag? Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell, and join the Starship mission update team to conquer the cosmos. I'm David. See you among the stars. SpaceX's ferocious obsession with rewriting aerospace rules is what makes it untouchable, and the Raptor engine saga is proof. Forget Raptor 1 or 2, SpaceX obliterated limits with Raptor 3, and now they're unleashing the beastly Raptor 4, the most earth-shaking version yet. So what's this monster engine got in store? Buckle up, because the biggest leap is raw, unhinged power. I'm David, joined by the Starship Mission Update team, and we're ripping into the details right now. Raptor 4 represents a significant leap forward in rocket engine performance, particularly in terms of thrust, efficiency, and design refinement. Elon Musk noted in late 2024 that the Raptor 3.X series could achieve 300 tons of thrust at liftoff, which, by the way, is 3 times what the Saturn V's legendary F1 engine produced. However, during an interview with Everyday Astronaut, Musk mentioned a more advanced version, capable of reaching 330 tons, which likely refers to Raptor 4. This output marks an approximate 17% increase over Raptor 3's standard 280-ton thrust, and a remarkable 43% increase compared to Raptor 2. If SpaceX maintains the current Starship and Super Heavy configuration, this improvement could enable the booster to deliver up to 10,890 tons of thrust at liftoff. Beyond raw power, efficiency is also improving. Musk stated that the Raptor 3 series, and by extension Raptor 4's vacuum variant, could reach a specific impulse of 380 seconds, enabled in part by an oversized nozzle optimized for performance in space. With Raptor 3 already achieving a record-setting chamber pressure of 350 bar, Raptor 4 is expected to exceed even that, solidifying SpaceX's lead in engine performance. In terms of design evolution, the Raptor engine has also been getting lighter. Raptor Var 1 weighed around 2,000 kilograms, V2 dropped to 1,600 kilograms, and it is estimated that Raptor Ver4 may weigh close to 1,500 kilograms. When paired with a thrust of 330 tons of force, this results in a thrust-to-weight ratio, TWR, of roughly 220, substantially higher than the Merlin 1D's TWR of 180. This metric is critical, as a higher TWR indicates greater efficiency and acceleration potential. In this context, Raptor 4 not only surpasses its predecessors, but also stands out as one of the most advanced and capable rocket engines ever developed. SpaceX has several engineering options to achieve the increased power seen in engines like Raptor 4. One approach is to enlarge the nozzle while keeping the flow rate, chamber pressure, and throat area constant. This modification can improve specific impulse, making the engine more fuel efficient and potentially increasing thrust slightly. However, a larger nozzle adds weight and expands the engine's footprint, which may complicate fitting all 33 engines into the super heavy booster's base. Another method to enhance performance involves adjusting the throat size while keeping the nozzle and chamber pressure unchanged. Reducing the throat diameter can lead to higher exhaust velocity, improved specific impulse, and a better thrust-to-weight ratio. The trade-off is a reduction in flow rate, which can lower total thrust output. The most promising and technically challenging path, which SpaceX is actively pursuing, is increasing chamber pressure. Higher chamber pressure directly results in a greater thrust-to-weight ratio, which is crucial for improving overall vehicle performance. However, this also raises the temperature inside the combustion chamber to levels that can potentially damage or melt engine components. To overcome this, SpaceX is experimenting with advanced materials, custom alloys, and improved cooling methods to ensure durability under extreme conditions. But why does SpaceX need the immense power of Raptor 4? At first glance, it might seem a bit overkill. The current Raptor 3 engine is already at the cutting edge of high-performance rocket propulsion. It is powerful, efficient, and fully capable of supporting Starship's existing goals. So why push further? The answer lies in SpaceX's long-term vision, specifically its plans for Mars. According to the latest roadmap, by 2033, SpaceX aims to send 500 Starship landers to Mars. These ships will deliver mining equipment and infrastructure essential to building a self-sustaining presence on the Red Planet. Each Starship lander is expected to carry up to 300 tons of payload, an enormous mass that demands significantly more thrust than what current Raptor engines can reliably provide. That is where the next-generation Raptor 4 comes in. But there is more to it than just raw lifting power. Higher thrust also opens up greater opportunities to exploit the Oberth effect, a fundamental principle in astronautics. The Oberth maneuver involves firing a rocket's engines at the lowest point in its orbit when it is moving fastest through a gravitational well. Because kinetic energy increases with the square of velocity, burning fuel at higher speeds yields much greater energy efficiency. In practical terms, this means that a powerful, high-thrust engine like Raptor 4 allows Starship to perform high-efficiency orbital burns during planetary transfers. That is especially critical for deep space missions, where every kilogram of fuel saved increases the total deliverable mass or extends mission flexibility. The Oberth effect is named after Hermann Oberth, a pioneering physicist in rocketry who first described it in 1927. It is most effective when a spacecraft can deliver maximum impulse in a very short time, something only high-thrust engines like Raptor 4 can achieve. So while Raptor 3 is already a technological marvel, Raptor 4 is about scaling up to make interplanetary logistics, high-efficiency maneuvers, and full-scale Mars colonization feasible. Another major reason SpaceX is developing Raptor 4 is to reduce costs. Elon Musk has consistently emphasized his goal of making rocket engines as affordable as possible. At one point, he stated that the target cost for a Raptor engine is less than $250,000. While that remains a highly ambitious target, it is not entirely out of reach in the long term. Currently, the cost of raw materials alone, particularly high-nickel alloys used in combustion chambers and nozzles, can approach $100,000 per engine.
In addition, components like engine controllers, pressure transducers, and rotational sensors are expensive, especially when designed to operate under extreme conditions such as cryogenic temperatures and high pressures. These components also require rigorous testing and qualification, further driving up costs. Automation will help reduce labor expenses, but it does not eliminate them entirely. In many ways, automation simply transfers labor into the design, production, and maintenance of machines. What truly brings down manufacturing costs is high production volume. Raptor 4 is expected to have a more streamlined and simplified design compared to its predecessors. More parts will be integrated into single assemblies, reducing the number of joints, bolts, and failure points. It will also be built to be more robust and reusable, allowing it to fly multiple times with minimal refurbishment, which further reduces cost per launch. While reaching the $250,000 mark may take time, it is not an impossible goal. In the near term, a more realistic price for Raptor 4 is estimated to be around $500,000 per engine, which would still represent a significant cost reduction over earlier models and a major step towards affordable spaceflight. Although Raptor 4 is still more of a rough concept than an actual engine, Elon Musk has been mentioning it since 2024. That suggests SpaceX might already be making early progress behind the scenes. So the big question is, when do you think SpaceX will unveil the first Raptor 4 prototype? Will it be in 2026 or 2027, or could it even happen by the end of this year? Drop your prediction in the comments below. While Raptor 4 is still a topic for future discussion, there's one engine we'll almost certainly see fly later this year, the Raptor 3. Elon Musk recently gave an update during a speech at Starbase, where he shared an impressive video of the new engine. According to the video, SpaceX has already tested over 300 Raptor 3 engines, accumulating more than 16,000 seconds of total runtime. That's a serious milestone. One of the most striking things about Raptor 3 is its radical design simplicity. It has virtually no visible pipes, hoses, or wires. It looks almost too clean to be real. Musk even described it as alien technology. This minimalist design allows SpaceX to eliminate the external heat shielding usually required to protect vulnerable components. With nothing exposed to burn or overheating, the engines can hang openly. This reduces weight and increases payload capacity. But the benefits don't stop there. The cleaner design also removes closed-off areas where excess fuel and oxygen could accumulate and potentially explode. While this hasn't been a major issue for the booster stage, it's been a significant challenge for the Starship upper stage. If Raptor 3 solves that, it could be the key to finally allowing Starship to survive re-entry and complete full mission profiles, which has been a major hurdle in its development so far. Speaking of new engines, Russia has one of its own. Recently, Rosatom, Russia's state-owned nuclear corporation, unveiled a prototype plasma rocket engine, a technology it claims could drastically shorten space travel times. The laboratory model, which uses a magnetic plasma accelerator, generates at least 6 newtons of thrust with a specific impulse of over 100 kilometers per second. For perspective, 6 newtons is about the force needed to hold a small apple against gravity. While modest compared to the explosive force of chemical rockets, plasma engines work differently. They operate continuously over long durations, gradually accelerating spacecraft to very high velocities. Plasma engines are a form of electric propulsion. Rather than burning fuel, they ionize gas and use electromagnetic fields to accelerate the charged particles, generating thrust. This makes them far more efficient than chemical rockets, allowing spacecraft to travel farther using significantly less fuel. Rosatom's prototype operates in pulsed mode, delivering an average power output of 300 kilowatts. That level of energy could enable travel to Mars in just 30 to 60 days, compared to the current 9 to 12 months. Such a reduction in transit time would limit astronauts' exposure to cosmic radiation and other deep space risks. The project is part of Russia's new Nuclear and Energy Technologies Initiative, launched in 2025 to drive national technological leadership. A dedicated testing facility has already been established in Troitsk, equipped with a 14-meter-long vacuum chamber for simulating space-like conditions, and testing the engine in realistic scenarios. Rosatom's push into space propulsion aligns with its broader strategy to expand nuclear technology and space exploration. The company is also developing nuclear power systems for spacecraft, including solutions for transport missions, research, and even planetary surface operations. Rosatom's nuclear space technologies were initially developed under the Development of Technology and Scientific Research in the Field of Atomic Energy Use program, which was launched in 2021. This initiative supported advancements in nuclear materials, power systems, fusion research, and more. In 2025, it was integrated into the broader New Nuclear and Energy Technologies National Project, reflecting Russia's strategic push to maintain technological sovereignty and gain a competitive edge in high-tech industries. If you have watched this far, I truly appreciate your time and interest. I am glad to know that this video has been helpful to you. We are on our way to reaching our goal of 20,000 subscribers, so feel free to support us by hitting that subscribe button. It really helps a lot. Thank you. In a mere 23 years, SpaceX has skyrocketed from begging for NASA's scraps to potentially dwarfing NASA's entire yearly budget. A growth so obscene, it'll make your head spin. How did they pull off this insanity? It's all down to one ruthless strategy: diversify or die. SpaceX didn't just play it safe. They threw their bets across government deals, commercial launches, Starlink's satellite internet domination, and beyond. That wasn't just smart, it forged a galactic empire. Now Sierra Space is stealing that playbook and cranking it to 11, diving headfirst into defense to challenge the Titans. This unicorn isn't here to play nice. It's gunning to outmuscle SpaceX itself. With Dream Chaser, their sleek runway landing spaceplane that's equal parts sci-fi and game-changer, Sierra's stacking contracts and turning heads. Its versatile missions and bold moves have the aerospace world shook. So how's Sierra Space plotting to take on the industry's heaviest hitters? I'm David, joined by the Starship Mission Update team, and we're tearing into it today. How harsh is rocketry? Rocketry is far from a walk in the park, especially for private companies looking to turn a profit by launching rockets. The hurdles are massive and come down to two major factors: technical challenges and financial pressure. Let's start with the tech side. Building rockets is insanely complex. Everything has to work perfectly. Just one small error can cause the whole thing to blow up. And when a rocket explodes, it's not just a spectacular failure, it's also a multi-million-dollar loss that sends shivers down investors' spines. On top of that, launching rockets requires specialized infrastructure, which costs a fortune. Then there's the environment these machines operate in. Rocket engines reach extreme temperatures and must survive the harsh conditions of space. Finding materials that can withstand this is no easy task. Many of these components are rare or hard to source, leading to delays or skyrocketing costs. Now imagine trying to push boundaries in this already punishing field. That's what visionaries are doing, challenging the status quo. NASA, for example, struggled with its partially reusable space shuttle and eventually returned to disposable rockets. Meanwhile, companies like SpaceX are doubling down on reusable systems to cut costs. But making a rocket safe and reliable for multiple flights, that's a massive engineering puzzle. On top of all that, the legal and regulatory side of things is a maze. If you're partnering with NASA or other governments, there's a rulebook you have to follow. And space debris? Yeah. Companies are now being held accountable for cleaning up after themselves. Think of it like an environmental tax for space. So how do you stay afloat in this brutal industry? You need serious financial muscle. Most rocket startups are either backed by billionaires or rely on deep-pocketed investors and partners. And raising that money is just the beginning. Staying in the game long-term requires a sharp business strategy, and that's where diversification comes in. Rather than betting everything on rocket launches, private space firms are branching out. They're moving into satellite communications, space tourism, in-orbit servicing, building space stations, exploring the moon, you name it. This diversification often means developing cutting-edge tech like reusable rockets, space planes, or even in-orbit manufacturing facilities. Business models are evolving too, with ideas like point-to-point space travel and commercial space stations becoming serious plays. On the business side, many of these companies also pursue both government and commercial contracts. This mix brings in stable government money while keeping innovation moving fast through commercial work. And if we're talking about pioneers, look no further than SpaceX. Their Starlink satellite network has become a financial powerhouse, helping fund the incredibly ambitious Starship program. And that's just the civil side. On the defense end, they've rolled out Starshield, a secure comms network designed for military and intelligence use. Starshield is one of many Department of Defense contracts they've landed. This strategy of straddling civil, commercial, and defense markets gives SpaceX a diversified revenue stream and a unique edge in the space race. Plus, they've got plans for space tourism with their Crew Dragon spacecraft and even Earth-to-Earth travel via Starship. And the payoff is so sweet. Elon Musk claims that SpaceX's commercial revenue will surpass NASA's entire budget by 2026.
And while that sounds wild, another space player is making waves on a similar path. Meet Sierra Space, a company just 4 years old already known for its eye-catching Dream Chaser spaceplane. It's on track to resupply the ISS under NASA's Commercial Resupply Services 2 contract. But now they're stepping into defense, echoing SpaceX's transition from scrappy startup to aerospace powerhouse. On June 11th, Sierra Space unveiled its new Victory Works facility in Centennial, Colorado. This 60,000 square foot addition is supercharging production of their Eclipse satellite bus, a key piece for the U.S. Space Development Agency's missile warning systems. Backed by a $1.5 billion contract portfolio, this marks a serious shift. In fact, they recently landed a $740 million contract for 18 satellites, loaded with next-gen fire control sensors. That's not just tech speak, it's a crucial upgrade to America's missile defense. This pivot to defense comes at a time when the 2024 U.S. Space Force report is emphasizing the urgent need for rapid satellite deployment in response to global threats. And Sierra Space isn't stopping there. Through NASA's Next Space Technologies for Exploration Partnerships, Next Step 2, Appendix R program, they're exploring how to use expandable space station tech like their Life Habitat for lunar logistics, including tunnel networks, cargo storage, and the infrastructure for a permanent moon base. All part of NASA's Grand Moon to Mars vision. And there's more. Dream Chaser isn't just a delivery vehicle. It's also conducting microgravity experiments like 3D printing protein crystals for pharma giant Merck. The goal? Unlocking new possibilities in cancer treatment by making drugs more precise and effective. If that's not future forward, what is? Dream Chaser, with some unique advantages, will be the key to unlocking a future that some say even SpaceX cannot deliver. Dream Chaser stands out for its airplane-style reusability. Most capsules, like SpaceX's, splash down at sea or land in a few spots. Dream Chaser? It lands like a regular jet on standard runways around the globe. No massive Mechazilla launch towers required. That means quicker turnarounds, lower infrastructure costs, and faster access to whatever it brings back, be it astronauts, sensitive cargo, or emergency supplies. Flexibility is the name of the game. Dream Chaser can haul crew, cargo, perform satellite servicing, do science in orbit, and even assist with Earth observation. It's basically the space version of a Swiss Army knife. Plus, it's rocket agnostic. It can fly atop multiple launch systems, making mission planning more versatile and resilient. And here's a big plus. Unlike some spacecraft that rely on hazardous fuels, Dream Chaser uses non-toxic propellants. That makes it airport-friendly and lowers operational costs. Oh, and remember SpaceX's vision for point-to-point travel on Earth? Sierra Space is chasing the same goal: ultra-fast global cargo delivery using spaceflight. Think military supplies or disaster aid delivered in just hours. Game changer. Dream Chaser can also remain docked at the ISS for up to 210 days, just like SpaceX's Dragon. And it's upgradable to survive harsh radiation, meaning it's ready for extended military ops. Safety? Covered.
In a launch emergency, it can autonomously abort and land safely on a nearby runway. No ground control needed. Sure, it has limitations, mainly a smaller payload compared to Falcon, New Glenn, or Starship. But for missions that require precision timing or ultra-sensitive cargo, Dream Chaser might be the perfect fit. And let's be real, NASA and the Department of Defense wouldn't be investing big bucks if they didn't see the potential. So what do you think? Is Dream Chaser the next big thing in space tech? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Anyway, if you love this deep dive, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell. We're aiming for 20,000 subscribers, and we need you to get there. Check out our other videos on Starship, Artemis, and more, and let's keep exploring the cosmos together.
Any NET launch date yet? Dream Chaser is great, but is there a confirmed launch date yet? That question has been echoing through the space community for years. Enthusiasts and experts alike have been eagerly awaiting its debut, yet we're still waiting. Back in 2020, Steve Lindsay, SNC's Vice President of Space Exploration Systems, was confident that Dream Chaser would launch in 2021. Fast forward 4 years, and it's still Earthbound. The first cargo variant, fittingly named Tenacity, is currently undergoing final tests at NASA facilities. The new target? No earlier than the third quarter of 2025. So what's caused all the delays? Launch logistics. Dream Chaser was originally slated to fly aboard ULA's Vulcan Centaur rocket, but ULA had to prioritize getting Vulcan certified for vital U.S. Space Force missions. As a result, Dream Chaser was bumped in favor of dummy payloads. While there's a potential launch window for Tenacity in late 2025, nothing is locked in. ULA is currently juggling a dense queue of military launches, putting that 2025 timeline in jeopardy. They did consider a backup plan, the reliable Atlas V. But there's a catch. ULA stopped producing Atlas V in 2024, and only 14 launches remain to fulfill existing commitments, including Boeing's Starliner and other high-priority government missions. Dream Chaser getting one of those slots? Not likely. Another reason for this delay might be the technical hurdles. Dream Chaser uses landing gear for runway landings, similar to how NASA's Space Shuttle operated. The shuttle had 3 sets of landing gear that extended through doors in the heat shield. To save weight, these gears couldn't retract once deployed. And because extending them too early would compromise the heat shield, a potentially fatal flaw, they could only be deployed manually, with no backup automatic system. Landing the shuttle was a high-stakes operation. It approached the runway at high speed, and once committed to land, there was no turning back. The landing gear had to work perfectly on the first try. Failure was not an option. So what if the shuttle's landing gear failed to deploy? In short, disaster. The orbiter wasn't structurally designed to survive a belly landing. If the cargo bay were empty, there might have been a slim chance for the crew, but if it were carrying payloads, the cargo could slam forward into the crew compartment on impact, likely resulting in tragedy. Now, Sierra Space is hoping to overcome these same risks. Adapting a legacy design like the Space Shuttle for modern use in Dream Chaser is a massive engineering challenge. Just look at the development timeline for their first flight-ready prototype, Tenacity.
Hey there, welcome to the Starship Mission Update team. I'm David, your guide to the cosmic frontier. Yesterday, June 17, 2025, SpaceX set Starbase ablaze with a Starship static fire test, and I'm willing to bet this flame could barbecue an entire asteroid. No, seriously, this isn't just a high-tech fireworks show, it's a pivotal step toward getting humans to Mars. Are you ready to dive into what's behind this raptor blaze? Let's do this. First, let's break down the event. On the morning of June 17th at the Starbase facility in Boca Chica, Texas, SpaceX fired up a single Raptor engine on the Starship. The spacecraft, dubbed the Golden Key to Elon Musk's interplanetary dreams. A static fire test isn't about launching the rocket.
Instead, Starship is bolted to the launch pad and the Raptor engine roars to life for a few seconds. But don't let the simplicity fool you. This is a critical checkup, like testing the heartbeat of a cosmic beast before it soars into space. So why is SpaceX doing this? A static fire test lets them stress test the Raptor under brutal conditions, mimicking what it'll face when Starship punches through the atmosphere or performs maneuvers in the vacuum of space. The video SpaceX dropped on X, check it out on their official post, shows the Raptor's iconic blue flame, a sight that's not just gorgeous, but a testament to cutting-edge tech. That flame comes from liquid methane and liquid oxygen mixing and igniting at over 300 bar of pressure. That's like the pressure 3,000 meters under the ocean. Just thinking about that power gives me chills. But hold up, why test just one engine when Starship rocks 6 Raptors? It's a smart move by SpaceX. Instead of testing the whole system at once, they isolate each component to check precision, durability, and performance. Each Raptor pumps out over 230 tons of thrust, double that of a typical jet engine. If one engine fails, the whole ship could be at risk. Think of it like cooking a cosmic feast. You test each ingredient before mixing them, and in this case, the ingredient is the Raptor's blazing fury. Now let's get technical. This test isn't just about lighting a fire and watching it burn. SpaceX is scrutinizing a ton of factors: combustion chamber pressure, fuel pump efficiency, control valve stability, and nozzle heat resistance. The Raptor is a full-flow staged combustion cycle engine. Sounds fancy, but it basically recycles exhaust gases to maximize efficiency, letting Starship achieve massive thrust with minimal fuel. It's one of the most advanced rocket engines ever built, and each test like this generates terabytes of data from sensors embedded in the engine. Here's a cool tidbit. This test was designed to simulate a burn in space, specifically scenarios like orbital adjustments or landing on Mars, where atmospheric pressure is just 1% of Earth's. That means that the Raptor has to perform flawlessly in near-vacuum conditions, and that's why SpaceX is obsessive about every detail. They want Starship to be as precise as a Swiss watch when it launches. But why is this test such a big deal? Let's set the stage. Starship's 9th flight test in May 2025 was a disaster. Both the Super Heavy booster and Starship exploded due to a methane leak in the fuel tanks. That explosion wasn't just a technical failure. It sparked questions about the system's safety. SpaceX hit pause on launches, went back to the drawing board, and upgraded everything from fuel tanks to cooling systems. The June 17th static fire was a make-or-break test to see if those fixes worked. If the Raptor performed perfectly under these harsh conditions, it's a huge sign that SpaceX has tackled the leak issue, a massive leap toward Flight 10. And here's where I throw out a bold prediction. I believe SpaceX isn't just testing a standard Raptor. There's unconfirmed buzz, juicy, right? That they might be trialing an upgraded version, possibly the Raptor 3, with thrust bumped up to 280 tons, a 20% performance boost over the current Raptor 2. If true, that flame we saw yesterday wasn't just a test. It's the first spark of an engine that could take Starship farther, faster, and more efficiently than ever. Picture this: a Raptor 3 could let Starship haul more cargo, slash launch costs, and even speed up plans for a Mars colony. But let's not get too carried away. This test carries some risks. If the Raptor underperforms, say a valve fails or the combustion chamber overheats, SpaceX might have to delay Flight 10, slated for the coming weeks. After the previous failures, the pressure on the engineering team is sky high. On X, the community's buzzing about this test. Some SpaceX fans call it a game changer, while others worry they're rushing too fast. Me? I think this flame signals progress, but I want your take. Does this test give you confidence that Flight 10 will nail it? Before we wrap this part, let's talk about what makes this test truly special. It's not just about tech, it's about ambition. Every time a Raptor ignites, we're one step closer to humans walking on Mars. That flame isn't just burning fuel, it's burning through humanity's limits.
And if you ask me, it's hot enough to melt any doubts about SpaceX.
We just explored the Raptor flame that lit up the static fire test on June 17, 2025. And now it's time to dig deeper into the secrets behind that glow. Folks, this isn't just a test. It's where SpaceX confronts past failures, trials new upgrades, and bets big on Flight 10. I'd wager the data from this flame could fill a sci-fi novel. Let's dissect what SpaceX did to fix their mistakes, how they're analyzing this test, and why it could change the game for Starship. First, let's talk data, the beating heart of every SpaceX test. When the Raptor roared for a few seconds on June 17th, hundreds of sensors captured every tiny detail. SpaceX didn't just care if the flame burned, they wanted to know how it burned. Sensors tracked combustion chamber pressure, often exceeding 300 bar, to ensure the Raptor could handle space-level stress. They also monitored the turbopump, a beast that pumps methane and liquid oxygen at thousands of RPMs. If that pump goes out of sync, it could cause vibrations like a race car losing balance at 300 kilometers per hour. Another key focus was the regenerative cooling system. The Raptor hits temperatures up to 3,300 degrees Celsius, hotter than volcanic lava. To keep the engine from melting, SpaceX uses cold fuel, flowing through tiny channels in the nozzle to absorb heat. This test checked if those channels stayed clear and if the nozzle could withstand the heat without deforming. If the cooling system fails, the Raptor could fry in seconds, and that's a no-go when Starship's landing on Mars. But data didn't just come from the engine. SpaceX also analyzed vibrations and sound from the test. Yup, that Raptor flame is as loud as a rock concert. Accelerometers and microphones around the launch pad recorded every shake and sound wave, helping engineers spot anomalies like a stuck valve or a tiny metal crack. These details seem minor, but in aerospace, a small glitch can spell disaster. Now let's get to why this test matters so much. It's SpaceX's shot at fixing past mistakes. Flight 9 in May 2025 was a gut punch. Both the Super Heavy booster and Starship exploded mid-air due to a methane leak in the fuel tanks. That blast didn't just destroy a multi-million-dollar prototype, it raised alarms about system safety. Post-failure, SpaceX scoured debris, ran thousands of simulations, and pinpointed the leak to a faulty fuel pipe and weak insulation. To fix this, SpaceX launched a technical overhaul. They redesigned the fuel system, using tougher stainless steel alloys for pipes and adding advanced polymer insulation to prevent liquid methane leaks. They also upgraded control valves with faster electronic actuators, capable of opening or closing in milliseconds to stop leaks instantly. The June 17th test was the first real-world check of these upgrades under launch-like pressure and heat. If no leaks were detected, it's a sign SpaceX has tackled the biggest issue from flight. Another upgrade targeted Starship's heat shield tiles. In Flight 9, some ceramic tiles detached during re-entry, causing a heat spike that contributed to the explosion. SpaceX revamped over 18,000 tiles, using a new ceramic blend that withstands 1,600 degrees Celsius, and improved mounting systems to keep them secure. While the static fire didn't directly test the tiles, Raptor's vibration and heat data helped SpaceX assess if the tiles could handle engine-induced stress. So, what does this test mean for Flight 10? If the data shows the Raptor ran smoothly, with effective fuel and cooling upgrades, SpaceX could confidently proceed with a launch in the coming weeks. Flight 10 is rumored to be a big leap. I mentioned that bold sea landing prediction in Part 1, and now I'll push it further. I'm betting SpaceX might attempt a precision landing using the Raptor to adjust orbit and touch down on an ocean barge, like Falcon 9 does. If they pull it off, it'll be Starship's first controlled landing, paving the way for fully reusable missions. But here's an even wilder prediction. I think SpaceX is quietly testing new tech in this test, beyond the Raptor 3 I mentioned. They might be integrating an advanced AI control system, using artificial intelligence to optimize Raptor performance in real time. Such a system could auto-adjust fuel flow or combustion pressure, letting Starship react faster to unexpected scenarios, like landing on Mars. There's no hard proof yet, but with SpaceX's innovation pace, I wouldn't be shocked if they're light years ahead. That said, it's not all smooth sailing. If the test data reveals issues, say excessive vibrations or a weak pipe, SpaceX could face delays for Flight 10, FAA scrutiny, and public skepticism. On X, some folks are already questioning if SpaceX is moving too fast, especially after past explosions. But I see it differently. Failure is the cost of innovation, and this Raptor flame proves SpaceX keeps pushing forward. What do you think? Is SpaceX on the right track? Or should they pump the brakes for safety?
We've just dissected the Raptor flame and SpaceX's technical upgrades from the June 17, 2025 static fire test. Now let's look to the stars and dream big. Folks, this test isn't just about shooting flames. It's a piece of Elon Musk's wild plan to make humans cosmic nomads, living on Mars, maybe even opening an interplanetary coffee shop. But hold up, not everyone thinks this is a stellar idea. Let's explore SpaceX's vision and the controversies heating up the conversation. First, let's talk vision. Starship isn't just a rocket. It's an interplanetary transport beast, built to haul up to 100 people or hundreds of tons of cargo. The June 17th Raptor test is a tiny step to ensure Starship can take us to Mars, build colonies, and even expand Starlink across the solar system. Picture this: an orbital fuel station by 2028, where Starships gas up to go farther. Or a crewed Mars mission by 2033, with astronauts sipping coffee while watching a red sunrise. SpaceX is ramping up, aiming for 25 Starship launches in 2025, and 100 annually by decade's end. If this static fire test succeeded, it boosts confidence that Starship can handle big missions, from hauling NASA cargo to building moon bases for Artemis. Here's my bold prediction. Within 5 years, Starship will land on the moon, carrying gear for a research outpost, paving the way for Mars. Who wants to bet we'll see a SpaceX flag waving on lunar soil? But not everyone's starry-eyed about Mars. On X, the community's buzzing with debate. Some call SpaceX the torchbearer of the future, but others, like Dr. Sarah Webb in The Conversation, worry about environmental impacts. Frequent launches could pump out greenhouse gases, and debris from failures like Flight 9 could harm oceans. Some even joke that SpaceX is turning the sky into a cosmic junkyard. I say failure's part of progress, but I want your take. Should SpaceX slow down to protect Earth or go full throttle to Mars? And that's our journey through the Raptor flame, from tech to Mars dreams. This test is a small but dazzling step, and I believe SpaceX is rewriting cosmic history. Drop a comment. Will Flight 10 be a smash hit or another fireball? Should SpaceX ease up or race to Mars? Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell to soar with the Starship Mission Update team. I'm David, and I'll see you among the stars.